Hello and welcome to 97.9 Unity Radio, the best political talk show in Worcester, Massachusetts, coming to you live from Utica, New York, somewhere in New Jersey, and somewhere in Connecticut. We're everywhere. We are the Rebel Republic.
Do we have to not announce where we're really from or hiding? Are we hiding from something? Are we hiding from the government?
I don't know where Dave's from.
Oh, well, Dave's, I mean, obviously.
I'm not sure where Sean's from in Connecticut. So
right now, Dave looks like he's in Michael Bublé's house because he's got that grand piano behind him.
I hate it. I hate his production.
And we talked about Dave before. He looks like in a made-to lean shack in Afghanistan out of a cave because it was so dark a minute ago. Sean.
I'm in the bunker, Frank. I'm in the bunker.
In the bunker. So basically, we can't announce where we're truly broadcasting from.
You can't talk about.
What was that guy late night? He used to have a talk show on AM radio late night. It was all the conspiracy theory talk shows.
Oh, yeah. Alex Jones?
No, not Alex Jones. I'm trying to stay away from him. I'm trying. It's a different guy. Oh my God, it'll come to me. But he broadcast all throughout the 80s and 90s and 2000s. He passed away a little while ago, and they're still rebroadcasting this stuff like late night, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning on AM radio locally here. Oh, it'll come to me. But he had all the conspiracy theories, but he never really discussed where he was broadcasting out of. He was always worried someone was going to come get him.
Well, that's true. I mean, because they've tried to get Trump like 10 times, and I'm telling you,
keep missing.
Poison's next.
How do they get poison?
They're going with arsenic.
Come on.
I'm telling you.
Come on.
They can't shoot guns.
No.
They got to go with poison.
Well, they're liberals. Not many of them carry guns, so it's totally understandable.
Well, Kamala said she carries guns.
I'm sure she does.
Yeah, I found that funny. Yeah, I got a kick out of that. Yeah. In California, no less, right?
Yeah. She had a gun. Nobody around her could have a gun. Her just to protect the team, but she's got a weapon. Come on.
I don't fault.
Biggest crock of shit that there's ever been put out.
She has values.
Yeah, I know she's got values.
Sean,
they keep changing every 3 weeks.
I wanted to let you know, Frank was upset because Kamala, I keep saying it wrong, but she talked about raising taxes and everything. And Frank made the comment that he can't go and pay his bills or go to the bank and pay with joy. He says everyone needs to feel joyful and fuzzy and good inside.
They don't take it.
And it's joy.
I brought the bank a big bag of joy to deposit.
Yeah, he thinks the Americans want to feel cozy and warm and have joy in life.
Yeah,
and they don't care about money. It's just joy,
right?
But
it says you're like Rob Bass. You know what I mean? Rob Bass, the song
"Joy" and then pain right after because there is no joy. There's no money.
He doesn't think joy pays the bills. So
I'm a fiscal conservative. I know I mentioned this many times.
Joy,
right. I'm a fiscal conservative. I don't give a crap what anybody looks like. I don't care who they're related to. I don't care. I do care if they come in illegal. I'd like to at least know who they are.
Well, I'm non-binary.
Okay? And I'm binary. Okay, that's it, please. But I my thing is this. I need to figure out one thing in life, and that's how to pay my bills, feed my family, and acquire some wealth to be able to pass on to my children, and hopefully just generational wealth down the road. Because if not, I could just be sitting at home waiting for some kind of a check to come to me and not do anything.
Well, we had a suggestion that oxygen should be taxed because you waste so much of it.
I do waste a lot of oxygen talking, but you know what? It's the good oxygen. It's the oxygen that running backs get when they made a 90-yard run and they got to sit down on the sidelines. They put the mask on their face.
Oh,
it's the good stuff. It's the stuff that you need. See, you know who's blowing carbon monoxide? Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is blowing so much carbon monoxide, she is literally putting her crowd, her audience, and her voters to sleep, to death.
So you're basically saying that like she's putting her lips on the exhaust hood of a car?
Her mouth is the exhaust. And there's so much crap coming out of it that it's starting to poison. I'm telling you, we'll get going on this, but I'm going to play a couple clips. I'm going to put them
this is what he wants.
And you're going to that are going to tell you right now. I'm telling you right now.
Sean, he's been waiting to play.
I am telling you right now, the race is over. This race, 47 days, 46 days. I don't know how many days are left in there. This race is over. You will see a GOP president come January 5th or 6th or whatever date it is, 7th.
Without the insurrection?
No insurrection.
No insurrection.
No nothing.
Okay.
And they can't print any more ballots. They can't stuff any more ballots. They can't make up anything. I'm telling you right now.
He's a convicted felon,
and it doesn't matter. We want a felon.
we want
a felon.
we want
We want someone who knows how to steal back the decency, right? The decency and the honesty that has been lost in this country.
honestly.
Because we're disrespecting everything. There's no more honesty. Whenever anyone's talking to you, it's all lies. It's a pack of lies.
I'm fact checking you right now.
Go ahead,
You know
please
what
get
you
the
said-
NASA guys
You know
up.
what you said last week?
Yeah, what did I say?
You and Dave both said you
Yes.
were going to drive to Mexico
Yep.
and come back with IDs,
Right.
and then go get
Get my 10 grand.
$10,000.
That's right.
That's not honest.
I'm not saying I'm honest. I'm
Oh.
saying the GOP is going to bring back a little
Okay.
bit of honesty to the entire makeup of this country.
Yeah.
There is no
Well,
honesty
let me
anymore.
clarify. We didn't say that we wanted to do that. We said that we would do that if
Yes,
if
you
people
would.
are just going to hand out $10,000 checks.
Yeah.
Why
yeah.
shouldn't we get a $10,000 check if they're just handing them out willy nilly?
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean?
I-
So
that's right.
I'm gonna play
why,
you.
why should someone else get a check? That has nothing to do with honesty or dishonesty. It has to do with sanity.
Yeah.
Okay, so people should not get a check who are not American citizens. Okay, there shouldn't be privileges.
I want to be rewarded though for
but
not being.
I will tell this. I will tell this, and I know Frank saw that. I saw Frank. Did you see the image of yourself defending the tree?
I did. I did send that to the Haitian ambassador. The Haitian embassy should have had that one right there.
Yeah,
I was hugging it.
Yeah, well,
defending the tree.
Well, last week it was the
He
dogs.
was
and
saving the
cats.
cats and the dogs, and
That's
saving
awesome.
the tree.
Go ahead. You
Save the
you-
trees.
You can play your clips.
I
want Sean to hear.
You want to hear him now? All right, give me
I
a
wanna
second.
hear
I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna play you two clips. Okay, and this right here.
Sean, Frank's very passionate.
It's social media.
He's very passionate.
But it's nothing. I really don't follow anything like social media. I don't believe everything that's said. But there are two clips that I have that are going to, for me, it seals the deal. Okay, the first clip, okay, is John Fetterman. So if you know John Fetterman, senator out of Pennsylvania, he was in the big fight with Dr. Oz in that campaign a couple years ago. He ended up winning. He had a stroke in between the election.
Yep.
He was basically incoherent, falling down. He still won. Okay, so that shows you how much the people love Dr. Oz. And the media pumped it all up, so I covered up a lot of stuff. But that's okay. Here's Fetterman being asked a question.
Well, is he normal
about
now?
Trump. He's normal now. He's
Okay.
actually he's
recovered.
well. What's going to happen is
You know, he's a UConn grad, Steve.
Fetterman is no.
Yes.
No.
Yes, he
Is
is.
he really?
Yes, he
Oh
is.
my lord!
Oh, okay.
That's okay. So this even has even more relevance. I feel better
Okay.
already. So the whole thing is right now. They asked him a question about Donald Trump and elections, and what do you think? And he's a Democrat. He has come out and shocked the left by siding with Israel. Right off the bat, he's totally pro-Israel in this Palestinian Gaza.
I thought we support Israel.
We do.
We
We're
do.
he's saying
You
Fetterman went against the Democrats, who are basically
Correct.
anti-Israel. You know,
Right.
So
Fetterman's standing on
He
his own
also
2
pumped,
feet.
He liked Shapiro for her
Correct.
VP,
Right.
but said that he would be too strong and outshine her, and that had to. They said that's why
Really?
she didn't pick him. Yep.
Right. I would agree. So here's a clip of him being asked now about Donald Trump and an election and who he's going to vote for.
Donald Trump that makes them want to vote for him. I know some people that are like, I personally think he's a terrible person, or I'm appalled by some of these things, but I fundamentally think that I'll still vote for him. And I think a lot of Republicans already agree with that. And then I never agreed with our approach talking about that he's a convicted felon. I mean, I thought Democrats, we were the party that was all about second chances, and that we're not going to condemn somebody based on mistakes or things in that kind of situation. And I was convinced too that those kinds of trials and that kinds of thing, it's not going to have any impact on that. It's like, what's left? He's been impeached twice. Now it's been 2 attempted assassinations, one where a bullet actually hit him. And at this point, and I also want people to understand, and it's not science, but there is energy and there's kinds of anger on the ground in Pennsylvania, and people are very committed and strong. Trump is going to be strong, and that's we have to respect that. Can't even understand it, and it's not like a science that can explain it, but you have to just know that it's real.
So there's one right there. So you've got Fetterman who was the darling child of the Democratic Party just a couple years ago in that midterm election, already saying that on the ground in his state, the sentiment is definitely that they trust Donald Trump much more than they will trust any Democratic nominee for president. That's number one. So that's telling me right inside the party, there's a rift in the party. Because if the party had a stranglehold on everything, they would have choked this guy out months ago because they knew he was going to say something like this. And they didn't. And they can't, because there's probably more than one that feel like this inside the Democratic Party themselves. Okay? That's the first clip. Here's the second clip that's going to tell me that bottom line, this race is over. So this is a interview with a mayor, and I got to get his excuse me, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. So Hamtramck, Michigan, which is a predominantly Muslim community. The mayor is Muslim. Okay. And
yes,
this guy backs Donald Trump.
You were endorsing former President Donald Trump. Tell me why.
Well, thanks for having me. This came as a result of a long time communication with the president and his campaign. They came to me here to my office. They visited me multiple times. We met. They were suggesting to send high figures from his close circle, and then I requested that I need to meet him personally if they want to consider endorsement. And he welcomed that. He didn't hesitate on requesting sending me an official invitation to meet him. This happens while we were very disappointed about the foreign policy of the current administration, but at the same time, I didn't receive any request to meet with them. And after we voted uncommitted, nothing that showed that any efforts from the other side to gain our support. So I thought that he's the one who deserved to be supported.
In your post, you said that the two of you have differences, but you believe basically that he's a good man, or a man of good standing. And I was reading some of the comments on your Facebook post. Some people agree with you. Some people say absolutely not. So what are you hearing from your constituents?
Well, I think almost 90% of the people are in support. If you read the comments, some of them are written in English, some in Arabic. Some people are more comfortable to write in Arabic. They are very supportive. And the ones who were undecided now decided after my endorsement. Yes, I was very careful in my statement because we do not agree on everything. I know that. And it's very hard for him to, to do everything we want. I understand he has to balance between his relationships with other groups, but we have high hope that he will end the chaos in the Middle East, like he said, and and end the wars everywhere around the world. That's his goal, and he promised that he will take our concerns into consideration, and that he will do his best to solve them. And we opened the channel of communication, and this is the building trust stage. Hopefully it will be fruitful, and we will see positive outcomes.
So bottom line, that's the second interview.
That's very interesting.
Right. It is. It sells me on that, because those communities are huge Democratic voting communities. They are big in the demographic of the state of Michigan, and probably the same in Minnesota as well. And you're going to see right now a huge turnaround because of this conflict in the Middle East. Without a doubt, has a huge impact on how they're going to vote. But this guy is basically saying that the Biden-Harris administration ignored them, basically just pushed them aside, did not give them any kind of invite to come meet and talk, did not give them any kind of voiced support of their cause, or at least an interest in listening to what they had to say. And the Trump campaign who people think is on the warpath against anyone that doesn't believe in their values, goes and freely approaches this group and this mayor and this town, and spends time and listens and makes commitments, which you don't see coming from Kamala Harris whatsoever, but makes commitments that they will do efforts to end this war. They will go in and try to clean up other areas, and they will try to address concerns that everyone has. Can't get them all done, but at least they will do that addressing of the concerns. And this is what's telling me right now, this race is kaput and over. Bury it, seal it, put in the victory for Donald Trump.
Well, I agree with you, but again, my issue is all these people for years knew that Joe Biden was probably incompetent, and they allowed it.
Of course they did, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't
They
matter.
should be held accountable.
Held accountable for what? What are you going to hold them accountable for?
For letting
like if you look how Kamala has been in a lot of her like when Oprah interviewed her,
yeah,
and some of
she
her
was
other
on The View. I know,
which and they ask her direct questions. When she gets a direct question, and they're softball questions, by the way.
Yeah, she worked salads.
These aren't even those. These are all questions in her favor, and she needs to go into. You know, my mother was a hardworking. This is the same thing every single time. You know, I grew up in a middle class family. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, like that might work when you're going to do a motivational speech on stage, okay? And you got a bunch of people who know nothing about you, who know nothing at all about you, and you're coming in there and you're saying, I grew up poor and now I made it, and you can make it too, right?
I have that speech as well if you want it, Dave. I've got it and you can listen to it. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, she said that I grew up poor.
She's middle class. She's trying to say, hey, I'm a middle class person like you.
The
middle class who's overwhelmingly going for Trump. Okay. Right. You should vote for me because I'm a middle class person raised in the middle class, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Yes.
Garbage. So listen, not to play this crap again because it's taking up time, but here it is.
How are you going to bring down the cost of food and groceries?
We really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
So we have to start always with energy. Always. I don't want to be boring about it, but there's no bigger subject. It covers everything. If you make donuts, if you make cars, whatever you make, energy is a big deal.
Yeah. First of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams.
Having the right
my
to have
ambition to
aspirations.
get your energy bill within 12 months.
That was her answer?
50%. If I can do that, you've done a hell of a job. 5-0, not 15, 50.
And ambitions for your family, and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been.
We're going to get interest rates down, and we've got to work with our farmers. Our farmers are being decimated right now. They're being absolutely decimated. We're going to let our farmers go to work.
Look, I grew up a child of a mother who worked very hard. She raised me and my sister, and she saved up. And by the time I was a teenager, she was able to buy a home.
Is this the same question?
Energy and common sense. A lot of it's common sense. Everything. You know, I like to say we're the party of common sense.
And we grew up actually for a long time in an apartment on top of a child care center that was owned by the woman we called our second mother because she helped my mother raise us. And she was a small business owner, Miss Shelton.
She didn't say anything of substance.
She says nothing. She says absolutely.
Well, how does she get away with that? Like, that's
because everyone hates Donald Trump. They have no other reason for voting for this person. And I got a friend out in San Francisco. I got a friend out in San Francisco, and we converse once around. He posts stuff all the time. He's a huge liberal, great guy, huge liberal, and he posts statistics and numbers. He's given me all these numbers, how inflation has dropped, and interest rates are dropping too, and that's going to help. And jobs, this is the greatest job market in the world.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see numbers. Numbers don't tell me shit. Okay, you can bend numbers and twist them and blowtorch them
to
make them look however you want to.
100%.
What I need is sentiment.
Yes.
I need people to walk around and feel, some sort of relief that they're okay, that they're in a good situation. I'm not talking about joy. Okay, I'm talking about a relief of stress.
Yeah.
And I don't see that in anybody. Everybody I see is miserable going to work. Everybody I see in the grocery store is miserable to spend money. Everybody I see trying to save money is miserable because they can't do it. Everybody who has a broken down a piece of equipment in their house or an appliance, or they're miserable because they don't have the money to pay for it.
Yeah.
The bottom line, it all goes back to finances. It all goes back to so if that
It's
sentiment
the economy,
is bad,
stupid, right?
Exactly.
But you're telling me that was the question that was asked to her, and that's how she answered it.
Yes. How are you going?
That was the entire answer.
How are you going to make things more affordable for people?
Steve, have you bought a stamp lately? Have you bought a stamp?
No, I haven't bought a stamp.
Guess how much a stamp is?
What's it, like 25 cents, 30 cents?
73 cents for a first class stamp.
It's because the United States Postal Service is underwater billions of dollars.
Why?
Because they're a union establishment. They finance their employees. They finance buildings. They finance everything without actually having to be able to balance a budget. That's what it is.
73 cents.
That's absurd. I just said, wow.
Hey, listen, Amazon drivers, they're going on strike.
They're going on strike.
Amazon drivers are organizing right now. They're going to go on strike.
They got rid of thousands of workers in Amazon.
Exactly. They're and the drivers are going on strike now. So now what's going to happen? How
Amazon delivers Sundays.
Amazon delivers whenever, but what's going to happen when Amazon doesn't deliver? How many people are going to be upset with that? How many people are going to turn on this administration within the next 20 days or something? There's a strike and they can't get their Christmas gifts.
Well, why would a strike at Amazon be associated with the administration?
Because
it's the number one. It's the number one commerce company in the world.
Correct.
By far.
Right. No, I know it is, but what is it?
Closest is probably Walmart, and it's not even close.
It has to do with the cost of living being so high.
Oh,
Amazon drivers, along with the rest of the public, are not comfortable in what they're making to be able to support themselves.
Correct.
So as inflation stays high, if when they tell you inflation has lowered, again, the bullshit meter goes really high.
Right.
Because if inflation had lowered, inflation will not lower because of this reason. I told you before, it's the cost of labor. The cost of labor has driven all these prices higher. So now employees have to make more. But where does it balance out? When does the increase stop to be able to flatten out, to be able to determine the new set of pricing around this country for everything? And there is nothing flattening out. There's no way to determine pricing. There's just no way. And you can't, and people don't realize this, is that with that inflation rate, and I'm not talking about rate, but the sentiment, the feeling, your pocket, with that pressure all the time, it makes you question more and more about what this administration has done politically, right? And sanction wise and rule wise and governing to be able to help curb these costs. Where are the curbs? Where are the curbs to help bring this back down? There are none.
Well, because you said they want them to be they want us to be dependent on the government. That's their goal.
That's, to me, again, this is just one lowly, whatever we're doing here, podcast personality, right? I'm a great personality. I'm the voice of reason, for Christ's sake. Look at it.
Well, yeah, you
Bottom
are.
line, my opinion is small and humble, but it is this. We are on the way to socialism. There's no way to stop it. It will happen.
It's communism.
Okay? It's not communism. Stop saying it's communism.
But
communism and socialism are two different things.
They are.
They are two different things. They are related.
Okay.
They're cousins, okay? But they're cousins that haven't slept with each other. Okay? You understand that? So they're separate still. So the thing is this. Socialism is coming. It's on the way. It may be 30 years away. It may be 50 or 60 years away. It may be 100, but socialism will come to this country.
Well, what's the difference between socialism and communism?
Communism is basically you are dependent on the government, but with shackles on your wrists. Socialism, we're going to let you walk around for a while. You're going to feel okay, right? But you're still going to be tortured mentally more than anything, and physically in your wallet.
Oh,
Okay, that's
okay.
socialism. You have
Okay.
you have minimal options in the social structure of business and life in that kind of community. My thing is this: it's coming. So that's why they didn't. We mentioned this last week. They don't want Donald Trump to win this election because it puts their cause back another 40 years. So if it was only going to be
Right,
40, now
right,
it's going to be
right.
80. It's going to be longer, and they can't wait for it. You have to realize, and Dave can agree with this or disagree, whatever you want to say. There's a group of 8 or 10 billionaires, multi-billionaires that meet once a year, twice a year to direct the guidance of the world of where they want it to go. I'm
Sure.
telling you right now.
Sure.
They
You're talking like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates.
in that guidance, right? They kind of want to say, all right, how are we going to determine the path of this? How do we determine the path of this?
Yeah, the
To be
Bill
able
Bird
to-
meetings
to-
or those kind of things, right?
Right, to control more. To control more. That's all it is. They're looking to control.
Right.
They feel that the average person in this world, okay, is not mentally capable of making decisions on their own, whether it be financial, whether it be structural, whatever kind of decisions it is. So they are going to control the guided path in life to every individual possible that they can reach. They can't, they can't get them all.
And they feel you shouldn't have the freedom to make those decisions.
Right, because
They
you're
don't
basically
think you're worthy
retarded.
enough to be able to make your own
Yeah, I think
decisions
you can say
because
retarded, but
can
when
say
you
that.
make
I
your own
can say that if I want to.
decisions, you don't make sound decisions. So they feel you shouldn't have the freedom of it, and that's what. But I agree with Frank. I think that see, here's what I really agree on is from that standpoint. If we're talking like socialism, the people always ask why do the elite, okay, who obviously would be quote unquote don't want being high taxation doesn't benefit them per se, quote unquote.
no,
The
they
reason why is
tax.
because they have so much money.
Yes.
Okay. They have so much money, no matter what you do, it does not affect their situation. Okay. Control and power becomes the play at that point. So when you're when you're a small business owner or even a mid-sized business, taxes are important because fiscal conservativeness allows you to keep more of your money to be able to build wealth, to be able to do the
Correct.
things you need to do, to be able to pay your employee, blah, blah, blah,
Support your
blah, blah,
family,
right? Okay. Uber wealth, meaning elite, we're talking billionaire status, where no matter what happens taxation wise, you've either put your money in a situation where you don't have to worry about it, or you're going to be little affected by it. Power and control become the number one items for those individuals. Controlling what goes on, decisions, what goes on, the power to be able to. So
Wow.
that's what one of my favorite songs from the old days and the rap days of Money, Power, Respect, right? So those guys already have the money, okay? They already have the money, and it's not just a little bit. That now it's wielding power, right? Why is Diddy in trouble? Okay, P. Diddy did all these things because he got the money and he wielded power in a corrupt and dangerous way. No different than Epstein, right? No different. And that's what happens to a lot of these wars. Now, look, there are billionaires that I like, okay, like Elon Musk, but there are warped, uber wealthy individuals. Very
Right.
warped. Okay. I won't go as far as to say devil worshippers or any of that kind of stuff, but I'll say warped. All right. Warped individuals that their objective is control. Okay. Always think about the world in a manner as it has been before the United States came around. Kings and serfs.
Yeah, that's
period.
true. The
End
class
of
system.
story since the
Yeah.
beginning of time, right?
Yeah.
What have the people always been fighting against? The kings ruling over and giving us very little, right?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
America, that was taken away. That
Yeah.
was, to an extent, to an extent, was taken away by the laws that we have. If you can bring in socialism, and then you can the elite can control and distribute the financial amounts to the individuals, the serfs in the country, and everybody can have equity and live equally poor. That's the goal of socialism. I don't care.
Oh my God, wow.
We distribute it. Once you take away a level of competition, the guy who makes bread down the block, okay, is the
Right.
only guy in the whole entire state of New York making bread, you have a problem. If the guy who makes bread down the block has to compete with the guy in the next block over, they have to have some sort of ability to be able to provide better service, to provide a better product, maybe both, whatever it is, to get customers to pay for whatever their product is. But when one person controls the product, when one person controls the means of production, prices go up and there's not as much supply for the customers. Venezuela, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. In Venezuela, what were people eating? They were eating anything they could get their hands on.
That's the whole crux of inflation, not being enough competition or whatever. And
No.
people being able to do what they want.
Inflation is that the average, everything costs more, from money to food
to gas.
And it's pushed up because of several reasons. Okay.
Interest rates.
One of the main interest rates. Listen, money was at years ago. My father borrowed money back in I think it was late 70s or early 80s. He was paying 12% interest.
Wow.
It's not the interest rate.
Okay.
It's how much it costs to live.
Yes.
Okay. So if the interest rates are high, that's fine. But if milk is still 50 cents a gallon, you're okay. But when you raise wages at the speed that has been raised, even if the federal minimum is still $7.25, which it is, it doesn't matter, because no one's going to pick up a shovel or a fork or a spatula for less than 17, 18 bucks an hour. And those are the menial jobs.
Yeah.
So someone coming out of college who has a degree in design thinks they're going to make $150,000 a year coming right out of college.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And no, they don't. No, they don't.
Well, they think that.
They're right. They do, but they don't make it.
No, they don't.
So bottom line, you got a bunch of higher educated, higher skilled, unemployed people not working.
Yeah.
And then you got a bunch of menial labor people not wanting to work because it's not worth it. Because
they don't want to go to trade school.
$700 a week. $700 a week does nothing for them.
Right.
Because by the time they pay everything that has been increased because it costs more for labor across the board to do all that stuff or make all that stuff, they're back at zero or they're underwater. So why bother working? I'm telling you one thing, Dave, though, right now, before the election is over, P. Diddy will be dead.
Diddy will
I don't know what he did. So can you tell me?
Well, he ran a den of iniquity for 20 years or 25 years.
I don't know what that word means.
He ran a brothel for 25 years.
Oh,
and basically he would, and the brothel wasn't like your normal brothel where Clint Eastwood brought his 14-year-old kid there to get like a hand job.
Well,
this is a brothel. This is a brothel of a den of iniquity. So he would have sick parties where, not just average people would show up, but high rollers, high people in the entertainment business, politicians. Epstein squared, but in the entertainment industry, a heavy emphasis on that. Okay, and Epstein was there too. But bottom line, what I'm trying to say is right now, why would the news come out and say right now P. Diddy's under suicide watch and they put him in prison? I don't know. So they investigated the FBI or whoever went in and dug it up because Cat Williams did a 3-hour radio interview with Shannon Sharp and blew everybody in.
It's been going on for that.
It's been going on for that, and there's been rumors for years. Everybody knows that crap.
Well, I always thought the whole Biggie Tupac. When you see people get murdered in a certain fashion, I always think the first thing that goes to my head is just like the detectives do. Who gains from this?
Yeah,
who is gaining from the death of the two most popular the two most popular rappers, of the 90s, right? Maybe at that point of all time.
Death Row gained everything. Death Row,
and they tried to, and Suge Knight. They tried to put it on Suge Knight because he was an easy guy because he kind of had this like gangster kind of reputation. So they tried to say, but really the question I always ask is, being from northern New Jersey and so close to New York City, literally, 5 minutes, and just having grown up around a lot of things that I always used to think were suspicious. Okay. I always thought that was such a suspicious, why would
Well, there were a million
Tupac
witnesses.
and
Yeah.
Biggie had nothing to benefit from knocking each other off. There was no benefit to be gained from that. Who gained from that? There's only a couple of individuals. You'd argue who became the biggest rappers after that? P. Diddy.
P. Diddy, yeah.
And there's one other guy that became a huge rapper. He's married to Beyonce.
Jay-Z.
Right.
Those are two guys who benefit. Now, I'm not saying Jay-Z had anything to do with it. I'm just saying who benefited from it. But that's what I always thought was
well, P. Diddy made a ton of money off that tribute album.
But P. Diddy was tight with Biggie.
So I
don't know. Yeah, but I'm right. They had something to benefit off of. But to me, the conspiracy theory goes that he wanted Biggie's whacked so he could take over. I mean, I don't know. All I know,
producer.
All I know is before the election is over, he is a dead man. He is a dead man,
like Epstein was. Like Epstein,
yeah, without a doubt. You knew Epstein was dead. You knew he was dead. Because bottom line, how does the media? All right, so P. Diddy goes to jail. He's under suicide watch. You think the guy wants to kill himself? He wants to get himself off. Right. He wants to hire the most powerful attorneys and make up a story and get himself off. What?
He won't get bail?
No, they refused bail. They denied him bail.
For a brothel?
It's more than that.
Okay.
Steve. It's
I think it's trafficking. It's
right.
It's probably
crap. Wow.
Everything.
There's probably high levels of money involved.
Animals,
and
midgets,
people.
it's all in there. Midgets, right? Animals. He's got everything. He's got 1,000 bottles of baby oil in his place. They found a stash. They found a warehouse of Johnson & Johnson baby oil in his house. I don't know if he uses Johnson & Johnson or not.
Steve, think about it like this: like, the people that are compromised that have partied with P. Diddy in some way, shape, or form from this, I don't know if it's the same, but like there's similarities to Epstein, right? All these people have been. So all these people do not want to be exposed. These people don't want to be exposed, like
you're right. Yes.
And P. Diddy obviously has touched every facet of music, politics, and business, and probably sports and entertainment. I'm sure too.
Yeah,
every single facet of it, and probably a lot of power brokers have dined, partied, maybe participated in some of these things. When you go back to the Epstein case and specifically what was Epstein's his partner with the woman
Jillian.
Yeah, Julian Maxwell.
Julian Maxwell, or
I thought so.
Yeah. So the whole process of how the maneuvering of this whole thing is so crazy, and the part of it is like, for them to be able to succeed, they have to compromise individuals, right? Initially, that's how they're able to do what they're doing, is to compromise individuals. But on the back side of it, when those guys are no longer of use, P. Diddy is no longer of use, Epstein is no longer of use, they are going to get rid of them before they can start. They don't want them standing there in court. Do you think they want P. Diddy sitting there in court saying, well, so-and-so was here at this thing, and so-and-so, same thing with Epstein. They didn't want them standing there in court saying.
And you think he'd sing like a canary? You think
remember the Green Mile? Dead man walking. That's P. Diddy right now. I'm telling you right now, he's a dead man.
No,
he's a dead man. They will not.
I didn't know.
And only because of this. This is the only thing that alerted me. The media said he's on suicide watch. They're already planting it into your head that, you know what? He's going to die by killing himself. And then they're going to plant it. They'll kill him. He'll eat. He'll eat a Haitian bamboo tree and he'll die.
How long has he been in for now?
Just a couple days or a week or two. Well, they've been holding him. Then his arraignment came up for bail and they denied him bail.
Yeah, which is
because they want to keep him there, so he's dead. He's a dead man. That's it.
New York, they give bail to everyone. Like,
yeah,
you get arrested 10 times.
Except P. Diddy, because they don't want him out because he's going to blow everybody in.
Oh my God!
Don't you get it?
I'm shocked at that.
It is.
I didn't know that.
And it's just like Epstein. It's liberals. It's conservatives. It doesn't even matter.
So,
but it's just people. It's people that have a shit ton of money.
Yes.
And that don't respect themselves, let alone people that they brought into this mess.
So,
and they're going to get exposed.
Dave, are you saying like Warren Buffett is a Democrat?
Is Warren Buffett
Yeah,
wait, are we
a
talking about
liberal.
something different here? So
Well,
we're moving from P. Diddy. I don't want to relate the two here because
I didn't get to
I
ask
don't
that.
want Warren Buffett to have a heart attack. Okay.
Dave, did John Glenn walk on the moon? Where the
No.
fuck just came out of left field with that? Warren
No,
Buffett, a
because
Democrat.
you were saying these people want control, so because they think
No, I don't. So Warren Buffett is it?
You can't make
Is
decisions.
Warren Buffett powerful and
Yeah.
potential to control? Well, does he have an influence in the world? Absolutely. Do I think Warren Buffett is
Or like
trying
Bill
to
Gates.
wield power to control everything that goes on? I don't think I see that. Now, is he a Democrat? I don't know. Is he I definitely think he is definitely leans Democrat.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But I don't see, I don't,
Money.
Warren Buffett is a 90-year-old man.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think he's trying to wield
Control.
power per se.
True
to control
money.
the world.
True
I think
power
he
knows no
genuinely
party.
thinks. I don't. There's things I don't agree with Warren Buffett on. I think Warren Buffett genuinely thinks that what he's doing is for the betterment, like his whole thing about giving away all your money, and he recruited Bill Gates. He recruited the girl who ran Spanx, owned Spanx. He's got conservatives and Democrats in that whole kind of camp. Because I think the girl from Spanx is actually a conservative, if I'm not mistaken. But so he's got the Bill Gates, he's got the woman who owns Spanx, which is a multi-billion-dollar company, and so I think kind of his mission is a little different. The guys you're talking about is Soros here. You're talking about Soros. I don't know. I wouldn't even know all the. There's a guy out in Germany. I can't think of his name, but there's these guys who are not just billionaires, but they're also active in trying to push forward a certain agenda. There's different. I would say even different level than even like Bill Gates. I think Bill Gates is pushing a certain agenda, but I think it's a different kind of agenda. It's not the same agenda.
He wants to control the food source, Dave. He wants to control our food, Bill Gates.
Right.
He's buying up millions of acres of land around this country. Millions of acres of farmland.
So do you think
what does Bill Gates need with farmland?
I don't know.
Right.
Bill Gates.
I think he's preparing for something.
Gates?
I don't think he needs anything.
No, but he's buying up millions, if not hundreds of millions of acres of farmland. Farms.
Well, what's he going to do with it?
That's my question too. What does he need farms for? And farming is the most right. It's the
They don't make computers.
Farming is the poorest paid job that there is out there.
At 4 a.m.
What does he need farms for? Because they're going to control the food source. They're going to control your food production.
So he's a liberal.
Money to me, I'll be honest, 100%. Money knows no political party. Power knows no political party.
It's just green.
Power knows no political party.
Okay.
There are certain people out there that just want to control. And the more money they have, the more control they can wield. But if this guy here, Bill Gates, what did he invent again? Microsoft?
The microchip.
Microsoft, right? So Bill Gates got Microsoft. He's a chip head. What does he need farms for?
Yeah.
Not 5 farms because he wants to grow his cucumbers for himself. He's buying up hundreds of millions of acres of land that is farming land.
Yeah, that's disturbing. He shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Who's going to stop him?
And if you know the history of Bill Gates and his family. So,
well, I know he didn't go to college.
Well, no, he went to Harvard originally. He went to Harvard.
But he dropped out, right?
Dropped out. His father. Okay, so Bill Gates himself, he was tall, wasn't an athlete or anything, but his father was basically the power broker in Seattle. Okay, like he was a businessman. He was very successful. He was a huge man, like a huge. I mean, I think like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
I want to say ex-football player maybe or something, but like a like not. He wasn't the mob, but he was like a prominent, powerful person in politics and business in Seattle. Okay, so he was raised by and very successful, and a lot of people think, you have people that loved his father, like absolutely loved his father. Okay, And there were people that absolutely were fearful of his father. So, it really depends on probably who you ask, but there's no doubt he was. So Bill Gates is really, though he went the opposite of his father in as far as what his approach was, he was very mathematical. He was very
Analytical.
analytical, was not like an athlete person. He hired when he went to Harvard, and he became friends with a guy who was like that, Steve Ballmer, who was a football player at Harvard, lineman at Harvard,
Right.
who ended up taking over the company, for many, many years when kind of Bill Gates kind of became like chairman emeritus or whatever, right? So there's things that Bill has learned and throughout his life on how to be able to maneuver beyond his genius as far as a programmer, and that's the thing that people don't realize. Like the programmer, you got to dig in the background of these guys. You know what I mean? Like they're not just smart; they are smart analytically. Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt. I mean, that's what his calling card was. But he understands politics. He understands business. He understands power, and it's just what he does on a much larger scale now. His father was doing in a microcosm of the Seattle world. It's no different. He just scaled it, right? He just scaled. How many times does one generation own let's say own a deli, and the next one opens up 10 delis, right? So it's the same thing. The one learned how to operate learned how to operate the things in operations. The other one learned how to scale. The younger version learned how to scale, right?
That's what you did. You opened up 5 pizzerias. Your dad
my father did. That's how he opened up one, and then financed off of that one to open up a second one, and kept rolling it over, and became more of a property owner than business owner. I mean, he had the business too, but he would rent those out of that. But the land is what's valuable. Yes. I'm just reading it right here, right now. I have to apologize. He only has 300,000 acres of land, of farmland. I said a million or whatever, or millions. So he said, here's the reason why he owns it.
300,000.
He owns less than 1/4,000th of the farmland in the U.S. Okay, I can buy that. And it might be more now. This article may be old. I have invested in these farms to make them more productive and create more jobs.
Oh, well, that's nice of him then. He's creating more jobs and he's creating more food.
He's creating more. This guy decided to create more jobs in the farm industry. That's his goal.
Well, I don't think farms hire people, but
no. I mean, what I'm saying is right now, if anything, machinery is taking people away. You're not employing more people on a farm. You're employing less people. Or is he employing all the illegals that are coming over the border because they're the only ones that are going to pick your lettuce and tomatoes?
That's true.
Our kids aren't going to pick lettuce and tomatoes. So that's suspicious. I take it for what it is. It's information.
It should be investigated.
But it's information that makes no sense. It makes no sense to me.
I don't know if it should be investigated because there's nothing that's been done to investigate yet.
Right.
So
he's just building up. He's building up wealth in the farm industry.
Listen, Steve, you want to go buy a bunch of farmland? You can go buy. The question, Frank's question is why is the why on it. Right. It's not. Right. You could put your money wherever you want if you're Bill Gates.
Yeah.
It's what is Bill. I think Bill Gates is less of an issue. Yeah, there are other people that are much greater issues than Bill Gates per se. I just don't think he has the there's a level of evil streak that some of the guys who are trying to wield power to.
You don't think he has that?
To me, is greater than Bill Gates is. I think Bill Gates enjoys some of it, but I don't think he's committed to it. You know what I'm saying? Like in the level that you need to be. Same thing with like Elon Musk is committed to trying to get the information to flow properly. I think he's committed to that.
That's what I was going to say to you. Why you like Elon Musk so much, or you think he's good?
I number one, even before he came out as being a little more of a conservative voice, when he was in the forefront of developing electric cars and space travel and all that stuff. The guy is really, his mind works at a different level than almost everyone. Okay, you can see it. The developmentally, his mind works at a different speed, and he can envision things. Certain people, I can't envision certain things. My mind will stop, and it's not mentally possible for me to envision certain things. Whereas his mind obviously envisions things in 3D. Okay, so that's one thing that I admire about him because of what he has done. Okay, what he has done, not just for himself, not just but for industries and for mankind. You're coming out and pushing an electric vehicle when 20 years ago, you'd have been laughed off the face of any kind of boardroom meeting that you're bringing in. Go, hey man, we're going to make a battery, we're going to put it in a car, we're going to drive it around. They're going to throw you out like you're crazy. Space travel. If you're not NASA, you're going to do space travel. You got to be out of your mind, right? Yeah. You're not the Russians. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you're not an entire country. Usually the country is funding the space travel. It's not one guy or one company, right?
Correct.
But the thing is that he has come through and broken that. Now, when he bought Twitter, I thought the guy was a madman because I thought he was throwing his money away because I don't use Twitter much, but or X now as they call it, but I didn't see the intrinsic value of that. And bottom line, it probably is not as valuable now as it was. But with tinkering, right, and with allowing free access to information and to proper information, this may be even a more valuable company that even he sought out, given time. Because the way it disperses information is something that I can't fathom how fast stuff comes off of X and goes everywhere, and everyone has an input on it. You know what I mean? So I think the main
source for news
the guy,
is X,
right? See, but I don't use it. See, here's what I use for news. I use the New York Post. Love it. All right.
Dave, you use X, don't you?
What's that? Do I use X? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, any news, that's the first thing that pops up. It's on X. Anyone who announces news goes to
right.
X.
But I'm a relic, and that's why I don't use that. But yeah, bottom line. So his vision may be correct in the long run again about buying this company because I thought it was way overpriced. I mean, what he paid, I can't remember how many billions, 50 or 60 billion he paid for Twitter. Ugh.
You want to know how Elon Musk initially got his money? Do you know the story?
No, I know nothing.
He dropped out of Stanford in 1995. He founded a company with his brother called Zip2, which was basically an online directory company. Okay, basically taking the yellow pages, basically, and putting it online, like linking it to the mapping visual things. He borrowed $28,000 from his father to do it. And then he sold his shit. They sold it to Compaq for $300 million. He pocketed $22 million, and then he started PayPal with that. With what's the guy's name?
Right.
That's the guy from PayPal who's famous.
Indian guy, isn't it?
It's Peter Thiel.
Thiel, yeah.
Right.
Hulk Hogan. He represented Hulk Hogan in his lawsuit, just so you know.
Right, Peter Thiel, who
Hulk Hogan had a sex tape,
and then obviously he made billions in made billions in PayPal. So did Peter Thiel, and then that became his launching pad for Tesla. But it's
$28,000 really.
He basically he took 28,000 from his father, which was for him and his brother, and turned that into what he's to become the richest man in the world. I mean, he is what you would call like
the American dream.
Yes, he really is and then some.
Why can't we do that?
Because
we have no
intrinsic value yet. We have to create value.
Let's put in $10,000 and come up with a good idea, and then sell it for $300 million.
Yeah, those come along every day, Steve. Those great ideas.
If he can do it,
you're a smart guy. He obviously, I'm a genius.
I'm smart.
He obviously saw a need for something. I mean, PayPal, it makes sense. You're paying, but then to take that and roll it into something and electric cars. I mean, like I said, the guy's mind is open. It's
the steps.
It's the
Matrix.
Matrix.
Saw the steps.
Right.
He saw this step. The first step was going to lead to something bigger. The second step he knew was going to lead to something bigger. He didn't stay in paper. Like, listen,
right.
The way my mind works, I know that, just because I've owned my same company for 20 years now.
Yes.
My mind works is like build something up, stay in it, grow it. His mind works, build it, sell it, build it, sell, get out. Like that's there's a level of brashness and boldness involved in understanding how to do that and timing of it all. There is a skill on it. It's not like it's not luck to know that this is the time to sell and not to hang in there for XYZ, right? PayPal's still around. It's still
it is.
Company. It's obviously a huge company, but he didn't stick around.
Most great entrepreneurs have one thing that other people don't have, and those they have no fear.
Well,
most people have
you would
fear.
sell Tony's if you got an offer.
Yeah, because I could do something else. I can create another food establishment somewhere else in the country. I have no problem with that. But my thing is, and the perfect example is my father. My father can't read, can't write, speaks really broken English, Dave. You wouldn't be able to understand a word he's saying. And worked his way up from being a meat cutter and working at a pastry shop and starting a first business, second business. But my father, he'll see a piece of property or something, and he has no fear about buying that, even when he didn't have money. I mean, he would always rob Peter to pay Paul for his next physical location, but he never had fear in attempting something. Now, some were successful, some obviously weren't, and that's the name of the game. The problem is most people can't teeter on that teeter-totter to be able to take a chance, right, and maybe have something be successful.
But he's always thinking that whenever he sees any property, any building.
He's 90 years old. He'll be 91 in April. He's 90 years old. He just went to Planet Fitness today and worked out.
Yeah.
And there's a property probably about a mile away from my store.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to buy that. And I go, what do you want to do with it? He goes, I don't know. I'll put some food in there, or whatever. I'll remodel the upstairs. I'll rent it out or something. It's like a village. It's a village floral shop. And he wants to turn it into like a small food, something. It's something with food. His thing is always with food, But he has most people at 90 are dead. Are dead.
Yeah.
Or they're thinking about or they're eating oatmeal at a retirement home, right? And this guy's thinking about buying because he has no fear. And I think that's the greatest attribute of entrepreneurs that are successful.
Yes.
That they have no fear to take that challenge because they're confident in what they do.
So if you dead seriously went to your dad and said, I want to open a doggy daycare in this building, what would his response be?
My father would tell the dog to go take a shit to somewhere else.
He wouldn't take it seriously.
He would not take it seriously.
If I showed him graphs and charts of how profitable they are and all that.
Nothing. He could care less. He doesn't want the smell. He doesn't want the hair. He doesn't want the hassle. No pee on the carpets. He wants everybody.
Why do you want to open a doggy daycare, Steve?
Because they're profitable. They're all cash business. They're very profitable.
He makes out with his dog at night. You got to see him. French kissing his dog all night. It's awful.
I don't make out with my dog.
Yes, you do.
I take my dog to doggy daycare and I see how much money they make in that little shit.
P. Diddy has the tapes. We have you at the party on the stage with the music and the lights, tonguing dogs.
I'm tonguing dogs, yes.
Yes, P. Diddy's got it. You better hope he croaks in prison because when that shit gets out, you're in deep trouble.
I'd like to call Steve Cully to the stand.
What?
I'm the greatest. Take 2 oranges and throw them back in life.
All I want is you to come with me to see the doggy daycare.
I don't want to see it. What do I want?
Because it's profitable.
No, I could care less what it makes. I don't want it. I don't want it. No, it's.
Why do you want to be around so many dogs?
My dog's breath stinks. I don't want to be around that.
I did my research and I looked at the profitability of the doggy daycare and how much money.
Then what are you doing here? Why are we doing this?
Well, because you won't let me open a doggy daycare. I asked if you
open it yourself.
I want one of your buildings.
Go to the bank. Tell them you got a great business model right here.
I do.
We go on.
Your building.
We talk about stuff all day. They pay you. Use the leverage and go borrow some money from the bank.
I just wanted your building. You have buildings.
I'll find you a building somewhere else, out in a farm somewhere where the dogs belong, not in an 8,000 square foot office space. Please.
Do you know which one I'm talking about? The right next
Dave,
to
this is thrilling. This is thrilling talk right now. I want to tell you right now. It's got a lot to do with politics and a republic.
No, I'm just saying it's business. and it's profitability, and it makes money. It makes money.
Go listen. Take your car, all right. Get some lettering on the side, and just put doggy grooming to go. And you just pull up with your car and you shave them out of the
That's what I would do if I were you.
Shave them out of the trunk.
I'm not a groomer.
You shave them out of the trunk.
No.
So what are you going to do with the doggy daycare if you're not a groomer?
Well, I clean up the piss and shit all day.
Well, why don't you just bring them into your yard and watch them all day and just have them come to your house?
I'll send you to the senior center over here. They're dying for people to do that job. They can't find anybody. They just brought in 25 people from where was it? It was Uganda.
What?
They brought in 25 people in here to work from Uganda in one of the senior centers, because they have there's no young adult here in the U.S. that's going to work for $17 an hour to clean up, crap.
No, I want 25. No.
Right.
No, I thought it was a good business idea, and being the entrepreneur that you are,
that's it, please.
When you see the profitability of it, if I had a chance to present it,
I'd rather sell heroin and take my chances.
I think you would jump to do it.
No.
And it's all because. So if it didn't smell, you would do it.
How many days till the election, Dave?
It's a month away.
No,
30,
more than that.
No, it's probably like 45 days, maybe.
Early balloting has started already, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And that concerns you.
Early balloting?
Yes.
No, I think it's they've already, and I've already seen reports on it that the ballot requests are down.
Oh, really?
Big time. Big time. Yeah. Ballot requests across the country are down.
Oh.
So
okay.
that is a huge boon for the GOP. Because that means now we either have non-active participants in the election, which will benefit the Republican Party, or we have people that are protesting because of some belief that they have against the DNC, and that helps the Republican Party, or the channels have been shut off for illegal ballots to be pushed and sent in,
right? Which
hurts the Democratic Party and helps the GOP. So one of those three reasons, most likely, is it's all going to help no matter what. It's all. And listen, if there, and Dave said this too, and if there was a Democratic candidate,
you said
that I thought was better, because there are some people that could be much better than Donald Trump, at least statesman wise. Well, if you can present yourself, if you can present yourself in the public, you have a rapport with other people in Congress, all this stuff. If there was one, I would support them as long as they're physically somewhat conservative. Physically, problem is most of the DNC can't be physically conservative.
Have you ever
because
voted
they
for
believe in
Democrat?
programs? I have not. I have
never.
Not. I did vote. One election I voted for Ross Perot.
Oh, I
stepped across the line. I voted for Ross.
Well,
Perot.
that's
that was my protest vote.
You okay?
But
you voted for like Mitt Romney and McCain and all them.
Whoever was on a conservative.
You wouldn't have
ticket.
voted for Obama.
No, I did not vote for Obama. I respect Obama.
Yes,
and I actually I
he
think
did a good job.
I can't say. Listen, he can be credited in a way, one way or another, the administration of getting out of the recession, the housing.
Well, he just
recession there.
gave bailout.
Well, but you know what? There weren't many recourses. How can you correct that immediately? And it didn't happen immediately overnight. We sucked on eggs for almost 3 years, until you started to see some kind of turnaround. But bottom line, I thought he was a fantastic public speaker, and he's a great statesman.
Yeah, a lot of charisma.
So it allowed us to stick out our chests and go, hey man, we have someone we can.
And he got Bin Laden.
What's that?
He got Bin Laden too.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I mean, and that's a great thing, and there's no doubt about that. But I thought he's. But my weaning is that a lot of the fluff of his second term, but also of what he proposed in bills and that was difficult to swallow down the road. We talked about this. We're feeling the repercussions a little more now than in the past. Do I believe in Obamacare? Sure, but it
didn't work.
Well, it did and didn't, because people were forced to get coverage.
They were forced.
Some people lost their coverage, right? But at least everyone has to. Everyone's got to be covered.
Well, they should.
Everyone's got to be covered, whether it be by the government in a sensible program or whether it be by individual coverage that you can pay for. Everyone's got to be covered.
Correct.
But how do you make that happen? I don't think that the approach that was there was the correct approach by forcing. But sometimes there's no other way. There's no other way to do it. And still, even by forcing, there was a segment of the population that had nothing. So what did it accomplish overall? I don't know.
No,
Maybe it was that good feeling accomplishment.
We still had to pay for the people that didn't have insurance.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, wow. So I guess we learned a lot on this discussion.
We did. What did we learn?
Bill Gates is buying up land,
farmland,
and he's going to give jobs to farmers.
Right. He's the benefactor. He's the Santa Claus for farmers
and make more food.
Yeah.
You don't think doggy daycares are profitable?
100%.
And you don't care if they are profitable?
I could care less. You could package it up and send it up to Starlink
because they smell.
You could, yes, it stinks to high heaven. My dog's breath is bad. Do you think I want 50 of those suckers running around my building? No.
I'm just recapping that.
You are.
Then you played the liberals that are voting for Trump.
I did play that, and bottom line, this right here is sole proof that this election is over.
So are we talking like 70-30 Trump?
No, it'll never be that
51-49.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Exactly. I mean,
it'll be that close.
I think it may be a little bit more, but you're right. Well, listen, NBC News had to pull out tonight. I watched the NBC News. First of all, 49-44. Kamala Harris is up by 5 points in the polling. Are you kidding me?
Well, that's what they do. They're the liberal media,
right? But are you kidding me? You're telling me she's up 4 points. And just a week ago, they were tied.
That's nonsense.
I think
it is nonsense. That's what I'm saying.
It's down 20 points.
Where are they polling? The only polling I trust is those two kids that go around to Home Depot and Lowe's, and they have the microphones and they just walk up to people.
The Zogbies.
They just go, no,
that's the Zarbs. You got to trust us.
Yeah, trust, please. The last thing I trust is no.
You don't trust the Zarb?
No, I can't trust.
Okay.
But listen. There's two kids that go around and they have a microphone on that, and they just walk up to people pushing a cart, and they go,
"Why are you voting? Who are you voting for?
Kamala or Trump?"
Why?
I just watched one today, and it's an old guy, man. He must have hearing loss or that. And kid goes, "Kamala or Trump?" And he goes, "Shrimp." I don't know why, but I had tears in my eyes for like 5 minutes. No. The guy goes, "Kamala or Trump?" Oh, he goes, "Oh, I heard now, Trump." It's so funny. It was so funny. I trust the Home Depot polling more than I trust what NBC News puts out.
Well, NBC News is so
they're very slanted. Yeah, they don't like anyone. They don't
like Trump. Period.
No, NBC News wants Kamala. They hate Trump.
The media. It's sad what's happened to the media. It's just so sad.
But I thought it's always been this way. I thought the media has always been liberal.
The media's always been liberal, but they haven't been liars until the last 15 years, maybe.
Right.
That changed. It changed. I mean, listen, it radically changed when Trump was running, but it was moving that way anyways. Before we go, I'm curious, Commanders or who's winning?
Oh my Lord! It is the Commanders 31-20 with 11:30 left in the fourth
quarter. Yeah, wow.
The Bengals are going to be 0-3.
Bengals will be 0-3 if this keeps up right now. It's an 11-point lead with 11 minutes left, and they look. And listen, here's the whole thing. The pregame. I was watching the pregame talk and all that, and they were so happy. They were cheering. T. Higgins is back. Like T's back. We got the full complement now. Yeah, but your defense is horrible. Horrible. They can't stop anybody. I mean, literally, James Daniels is running well right now. He threw a couple bombs. I mean, he looks really good, which is incredible because I expected the Bengals to win tonight easily, and they're proving me wrong. They look decent. The Commanders got something. I hope.
I think so.
Daniels is one of the most unheralded Heisman Trophy winners of all time. Like
he's
underrated. He won the Heisman, and like almost nobody realized it.
Yeah,
he should sue. He should sue the NCAA for non-recognition of his Heisman Trophy, even though he still has it, like Reggie Bush.
Yeah, and I think Dave and I should too.
Yeah, why not sue everything?
Dave and I
sue everybody. Put a lawsuit out every day.
And Dave, like I said, if you're available Wednesday and want to do the podcast with Burton and I, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I think I may be, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah,
that's a definite no, Steve.
No, he told me he likes my podcast.
I don't know about that either, but that's okay.
We had a great podcast.
Yes, I can imagine right now. Yeah,
with Joe D. Joe D shot down every point I made. Every point I made, he came back in 2 seconds and shot it down.
Yeah. I think he felt you were uninformed.
I thought that was. I thought I was blown away. I said we got to run the ball. Steve, who's the greatest quarterback in UConn history? Dan Orlovsky. How do you know him? Oh, you played with him. There you go. Yeah.
Hey, listen, we follow
the Patriots throw the ball in the Northeast. What do you mean you can't throw the ball in the Northeast?
Wait a minute. Let's go back. We follow unity in the community.
Do we follow it?
Yeah,
yeah.
We're on after that.
Yeah.
So there are listeners that are probably hanging on, listening to us after unity. So
that's why there's
and they can send, but they can send in questions,
comments. Yeah.
So here are the comments I want. This is all I want. Please send it in. I want to know who you're voting for in this upcoming election, and I want one reason why. I don't want joy or love.
Do you realize?
I don't want they're going to feel better. I don't want anything. I just want one reason why.
And I want one reason. If I get I want to take you to Worcester. If I take you to Worcester, I want to walk you down Main Street.
I walk down Main Street.
And people are going to throw things at you.
They're going to shake my hand.
I doubt it. I think they'll like him.
Absolutely. I'm only telling the truth.
He might have a pizzeria there before you know it.
Right. Absolutely.
Worcester. Yeah.
I'm going to come for the opening if he does.
I'm going to call it Rebel Roni Pizza. Rebel Roni Pizza. How about that, huh? I like it.
I just want the cannolis.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all. I'll do a cannoli shop in Worcester. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, they would love me. You know why? I'm not lying. I'm not trying to cover up anything. I'm not saying
they think that they want to tax oxygen because you waste so much of it.
Yeah, well, if I'm wasting so much of it, then hopefully it's floating into their ears to be able to perk them up to understand the real truth about what is happening.
You think you're opening eyes in Worcester?
Absolutely, I should be. We should be able to know the whole country. They can access it online, right?
But do you know how many Massachusetts state senators are conservative Republicans?
Zero.
That's
okay.
That's all
right.
They have not.
You don't need, as is proven by the Teamsters Union this week, you do not need to follow leadership. As the Teamsters decided to have no voice on who they would support this term, whether it would be a Democrat or Republican for president. When the Teamsters, since the foundation of the Teamsters, have supported a Democrat going into an election. And the reason being is they don't want to say that they're supporting. 58% of Teamsters surveyed support the Republican Party in this upcoming election. 31 support the Democratic Party.
Wow.
When you have union numbers that are swayed like that, where do you see the direction going in the election?
I'm happy.
Dave, I think it might be a 5 or 6 or 7 point victory for the GOP in this election.
Yeah, I don't see it 51-49, but that's for another day.
But yeah, please send in your polling, please. I'd like to just know the reason.
I'm curious.
Yeah, who you voting for, and give me one good reason and why. Give me a reason, and without joy or love.
Do you want percentages or head counts?
No, I want individual. I want you're gonna
want
ask,
names?
I want to print out. I want to read them.
You want to read?
Yeah, I don't want made up stuff. You come every week and you tell me. Bob from Worcester said that your head's too big.
I read it off my phone.
Joe says you're a toad or whatever. No, I want.
Are these real? Are these real comments too that come in?
Yeah, they're real comments that come in. Yeah.
when
you say that we get a lot of people watching, is this thousands of people watching?
Yeah, the one that I posted, absolutely. On
Dave,
on LinkedIn,
tens of people watching.
That's what I'm curious.
The radio live, yeah. The ones that I posted,
yeah.
Oh my God,
not the ones you post. I'm talking about the one that goes on the radio station.
Oh, the one that goes on the radio station.
Like how many views? How many? What's the audio reach?
It's like 60,000, 65,000 people listen.
65,000. What's the population of Worcester?
250,000.
35% of Worcester, Mass, is listening to our show.
Yeah, but Worcester as a market overall is not big in radio. Everyone listens to Boston, so that percentage is very high.
So are we like local radio?
Yeah, we're local for Worcester, yes. Yeah, we're Worcester. But Worcester is the second largest city in New England.
Is it really?
Yeah. Worcester's popular, but we've had as high as 80,000 people 80 or 82, I think, but
So
average is like
outside of
60,
the
65.
Massachusetts Boston market, we're like number 2
In Massachusetts, probably all of New England. I'd have to check, but I don't know if Hartford.
I can't believe
How about Hartford?
I don't know. I don't know any other political shows in Hartford. I have to look at the numbers.
I'd like to bat. I want to find out if there's any other like
There aren't original. Yeah, Worcester.
Are there
has
other
local radio
conservative stations in New England?
No.
I mean conservative shows?
No.
No.
All of Massachusetts, all of New England, there's no conservative radio talk.
There's national.
That can't be.
Nothing local. That's what I'm saying.
Nobody
radio,
local. Really?
For local radio, political talk, we are the highest listenership.
I will get hopefully by the end of the election, I will have Donald Trump on this.
Well, you're going to get Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon I just have to commit to a Wednesday where we can do it. I will have Donald Trump on this podcast. I will have the 45th president of the United States on this podcast.
The impersonator.
I don't impersonate. I will have the 45th president on this podcast.
Okay.
I will work on it.
Okay.
I will work on it.
Yeah. Why would he waste time in Massachusetts? He has no chance.
We're the only conservative talk station in all of New England, supposedly.
Well, 1200. So I just looked it up in 2 seconds. So 1200 AM, and then 94.5 FM. Those are both Boston.
Yeah, there's nothing. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing in Worcester.
Well, what are those two channels you listed, Dave?
1200 Talk Radio, which is like it has like
it's WBZ.
Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity.
Right,
yeah,
okay,
it's national. Yeah.
Right, national. Okay, and then there's another national
94.5.
Okay, and that's it.
That's it. I'm telling you. You don't believe me.
Jeez.
Worcester has a terrible radio market because everyone listens to Boston.
Wow. I will have
that's
the
why
45th president of the United States on this show.
Woo Sox is popular, Moneyline's popular because there's no local coverage in Worcester. They get nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're here.
Well, listen,
we're here
you can change your listening acumen by voting Republican in this upcoming election, because we promise you
they don't do that in Mass.
But we promise you we will bring you greater radio coverage in Worcester, with more programming. If you change your, because obviously it hasn't been working. Voting Democrat has not given your listening audience any kind of choices. You're stuck with the same old nothing.
No, people are.
So we're going to bring it to you. We're going to expand and make it even bigger.
Yeah, we're going to make it even bigger.
It's going to be hugely.
It is. It is.
Well, WGAW in where's Gardner, Mass?
Gardner's way out. It's not by Worcester.
That's conservative.
Yeah. No, if Ernie gets the cable station, that will be funny.
We'll be able to do TV.
Yeah, we'll be able to do TV.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be great.
Live. Yes,
live TV. What do I got to do? I got to go there.
No, we could do it from here.
Oh, we could do live from here.
Simulcast it.
Can you make it visually look like we're all sitting together?
No,
can't do that.
Probably not.
All right. Okay. Just throw it out there.
All right. Well, this has been a spirited discussion. For the voice of reason,
6 people listening in Worcester.
Frank Cristiano.
We have 6.
We did it, Joe. We did it, Joe.
And David Schuman in New Jersey. I'm the best podcast and radio host in the universe, Steve Cully, who apparently can't open a doggy daycare because it smells too bad, despite it makes more profits than anything. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and